All right, today we have a new Nintendo Switch game sale going on we need to talk about that does include some first-party games and specifically for the physical releases around them. There are some eShop sections of this video and some games that will be on screen that are as tied to the eShop and hence a digital purchase, but there's actually a split this time and we have some first-party discounts on physical games for Nintendo Switch. So we're gonna get on the same page with all of the best sales and deals going on right now and games that might be worth adding into your Nintendo Switch collection if you don't already have them. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And with that, we'll hop first over to Deku Deals, where you can see the following games on screen. We won't spend time on all of them. Cult of the Lamb is 50% off right now, or $12.49. The Doom games are on sale. They almost always are. But we're going to zero in on a few different ones as we kind of go through this here. We'll start off with the Juggernaut seller if you don't somehow already own it. And I am going to point out I have this website linked in the description down below, and you have different options on where you buy it. This is actually a handy website to see if a game's at an all-time low price, all the different retailers, and you have the cross comparison where if you buy this from the eShop, it's $59.99, but right now Walmart is actually running a sale where it's $39.99 or the lowest price on this list. You do have Best Buy and Target. I should mention this is all, North American region related, so keep that in mind. But you can check out this website. I'll have it linked in the description down below for you to go through and actually see what games you might be interested in picking up yourself. But $40 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, especially considering now that they have done the entire booster course pass, meaning there's 96 playable tracks. It is definitely a ton of content and a lot of fun. If you don't own it, it's a staple must own. There's a reason it's sold over 61 million copies and still going on the Nintendo Switch. So obviously a big recommendation from me if you don't already own it. Next up, I do want to briefly mention the Trine games. Like, you can get them dirt cheap individually or the complete collection of the Trine games for $10.99, and I believe that is tied to the eShop. So hefty discounts on those, and those are actually kind of like fun 2D action adventure platformers. I believe it was Trine 1 that I spent some time in and really did enjoy it. I have not played through all of them by any stretch of the imagination, but they seem to have some good gameplay, good fun action to offer, and also, if I'm remembering correctly, you can go through them entirely via co-op, which is very nice as well. So something else to look into for all three games, $10.99, definitely not a bad price. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, make sure you play this before you play Tears of the Kingdom. I do think it's very hard to go the other way around. Like, you play Tears of the Kingdom, it's going to be a hard time playing Breath of the Wild. But at Walmart and at Woot, which if you're not familiar with Woot, they're kind of like a overstocked Amazon type of thing. It is an Amazon affiliate and they are legit. I have purchased from them before, but anyway, both Walmart and Woot have this game listed at $39.99 right now. And for any Zelda fan, you really need to check this out. It's the most successful in the franchise by a lot. It ushered in the new open world progression into Zelda games, and it's still a ton of fun to this day to traverse through Hyrule. It has some great DLC expansions if you end up getting hooked into the game, which I'm assuming you will if you haven't given it a shot yet. And like I said, you're probably going to want to play Tears of the Kingdom next after you finish Breath of the Wild, so good pickup at $40. Hot Wheels Unleashed is actually a pretty significant discount at 85% off, and I do believe this is eShop digital only. Yes, it is. And so 85% off for Hot Wheels Unleashed. It's a lot of fun for, a more realistic take, surprisingly, from the mechanics on a racing game that is Hot Wheels, but you're racing around the tracks as Hot Wheels cars. Now, I really liked the more unrealistic Hot Wheels turbo racing back in the day, where you could literally do flips in the air as the cars and kind of get turbo boost by doing those said flips, but this is still a nice discount nonetheless, and for $6, I would definitely recommend this. However, there is a sequel out, so maybe look into that, but nonetheless, a good discount, $6 for a fun racing game. Definitely worth a second look, in my opinion. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. If you don't own this one, for 33% off or $40 right now at Walmart, you can get this. It looks like Amazon had it for $48, but it is sold out. Target has it for $50, so that's a big enough, steep enough discount to get it from Walmart, in my opinion. This is honestly at the top of like what a 2D action platformer can even accomplish. I just hope that we get something fresh in the DK world sometime soon, but of course we are waiting on Donkey Kong Country Returns to come out in January on the Nintendo Switch, and Tropical Freeze has some of the best level design and best enemies, boss battles, everything within the franchise, and I really think that if you like Donkey Kong Country games, whether from the SNES era or even Returns from the Wii and 3DS era, like, you're gonna enjoy this one, and I definitely think it's a must own for a lot of Nintendo Switch fans. It's $39.99. I do believe we've seen that go on sale for as low as like $30 during the holiday season, but it's not one that is always marked down. So Limbo next up looks like kind of one of the those like horror survival type of games that has a really cool aesthetic to it. It's literally $2, 80% off as part of the eShop sale, so feel free to look into that. The Overcooked games 1 and 2 are actually surprisingly enjoyable, even though I didn't think I would get into those. If you play it with friends, it's really chaotic and hectic, and you will find yourself yelling at each other to try to do the right things. They do have a collection where you can get like both the games in one, but for $6.24, picking up Overcooked 2 is an absolute steal if you have been interested in that franchise at all. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim is discounted half price right now. I do believe that this is, the digital sale as part of the eShop, so consider that if you don't already own it. Blasphemous is actually a really cool Metroidvania type of game with some Dark Souls influence. It definitely has a really cool aesthetic to it. It has some tough enemies that you'll have to get past in boss battles, but a lot of fun, very enjoyable. For $6.24, I would absolutely recommend looking into it. Persona 5 Royal right now is 58% off, $24.99 at Target specifically, so not Walmart this time. Target rather actually has this available, physical edition. So if you are a Persona fan and you've been waiting to pick up 5 Royal on the Switch, like, this is a good price. We typically do not see it sold at that $25 price point, and in fact, according to Deku Deals, it does match its previous low, meaning the lowest dollar amount it has ever been sold at. From there, we will you can see the other ones on screen here, but we are going to go to page 2, because there are a couple different things that I want to discuss briefly. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is like absolutely essentially like a Castlevania spiritual successor. So if you're a Castlevania fan from back in the day, check this out. It's really fun and enjoyable. $6 or 60% off is a great price to pick that up. Metal Gear fans will want to check out Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 for $20 right now. That is available on Amazon and Best Buy and Woot, all at $20. And this is a collection, of course, of the big first 3 Metal Gear games in the PS2 era that really exploded the franchise to a new level. But you also get the old classic like NES era Metal Gear games. So this is a really cool collection to own. It's a physical edition for $20, and I definitely highly recommend it at that price point. Splatoon 3 right now, if you are into online multiplayer shooters, like, it has a single player mode as well, but I know a lot of people play it for the online, and it has a DLC expansion. This is available for $40 right now at Walmart as part of this first party sale that they have going on. And I do think that at that price point, you should definitely check it out. The Shantae games are discounted as well, so $9.99 and $14.99 as you can see on screen. Maybe look into those. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is $24.99 right now, which is definitely a great price, and that is part of the an Amazon sale, so it is a physical edition that you will be getting it at. Hogwarts Legacy Deluxe Edition, which is normally $70, is at its lowest price ever on the eShop for $27.99 or 60% off. So this gets, I'm assuming, all of like the DLC or extra content. The Deluxe Edition just comes with the, extra digital goodies. Anyway, that's $27.99 right now, and while the Switch version is definitely not on par with the other console versions, it's still really cool to see what they pulled off with the Switch with a massive game that has a ton of content in it, so feel free to check that out. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is 67% off on a physical sale. So if you're a physical games collector, this is not a bad price at all. $19.93 on Amazon and Walmart right now for Sparks of Hope. So good opportunity to add that into your physical collection. Dead Cells right now is $12.49 or 50% off. Let's see what retailer that is. That is the eShop. I think they do actually have a physical edition of Dead Cells available. Super Mario RPG is basically $40 as well. This comes from Walmart, and this is a pretty recent first-party Nintendo Switch release to be discounted to $40, so definitely wanted to mention it. Of course, you know and love Super Mario RPG from the SNES era, and now it's been fully remade on the Nintendo Switch, so absolutely a no-brainer pickup for $40 if you don't already own it, in my opinion, especially if you are a fan of turn-based RPG games, but you want to play as Mario and friends and have a really cool story while you're at it. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, always have to recommend this. This actually has DLC coming out soon. You can pick up the physical edition right now for $25 at Target. I will be checking out the DLC for that game. It's legitimately one of my favorite Metroidvanias of all time, period, which is really saying something, so highly recommend playing through that if you're a Metroidvania fan if you haven't already. Outer Wilds is 40% off, also matches its previous low, and you can kind of see the other games on sale. We will briefly kind of scroll through page 3. There's a slight discount on New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe to $50 right now, but they kind of start to fall off in terms of the games that you'll most likely recognize. And then the only thing that I will briefly mention, just because there's a couple games that we don't always see go on sale, is over on the sales and deals page. Atari Studios Summer Sale is going on from August 12th to the 18th, and you have some pretty good releases that aren't typically discounted. So Star Wars Dark Forces Remastered is 35% off, or $20 right now instead of $30. And also the Atari 50, the anniversary celebration, which comes with like a ton of classic Atari games, is $25.99 instead of its $40 price point. And you can kind of see the rest on here. So that's kind of what I wanted to highlight in today's sales video. Make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. And with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.